This is funny.
We're gonna ruffle some feathers.
Yes, we are SoulSlingers. You know, it's funny. It's just like you would figure I would support Bad Bunny Gang, but I'm like, you know what? SoulSlingers just sounds more like us. And then I did say, just to make myself a little bit happy, just in case the Calamity Crew or whatever gets picked, I'm like, I'm gonna change my channel name to Calamity Jade.
Not that.
You did
I don't
say
even
that.
know how to respond to that.
I'm like, when you think about it, I like what Gail just learned it. It's like we do have an historical figure that was called Calamity.
I
Yeah,
missed
and I was
that part
telling-
of the chat. Could somebody explain?
Well, there's a Western historical figure that happens to be female. She was called Calamity Jane. Okay, and she's a real figure in history here in the U.S.
Excuse Yeah, it's true. I was telling her at one point that I thought the last time I heard about it was must be a nickname for some fictional character, but after she pointed it out, I was looking it up and then I said, oh, okay, so it is actually a nickname for an actual person who lived around the late 1890s. She died around 1903. What were the descriptions that the Wikipedia's mentioned about her? An American frontierswoman.
Yo.
A gunslinger. So basically, she lived in the Wild West around that time.
Have you guys? Everybody's puppets.
Who do you? I don't think we're all playing puppets. I don't
And
know what Colt's
Liza
playing.
P.
I'm doing Liza P.
Is everybody in Hotel Crap puppets for you?
You got the bad ending.
Oh,
yeah, that's the
I
bad
haven't gotten
ending.
any endings yet. That's for sure.
Yeah, when I did the
Well-
platinum, I had to do the bad ending on my final run.
okay, that's why.
Yep.
That's when you give up your heart to Geppetto.
Mm-hmm.
Oh,
Mhm.
wait, I beat it.
Yep. You're on a save. You beaten already.
I've beaten Liza P so many damn times.
I done
It's
forgot.
hilarious. I'm gonna start a new game. I'll get this thing running so I can get
And
it
the
at
thing-
least to the...
I deleted the game yesterday, so I'm the only one who's not playing Liza P.
Everybody's like, your wish is my
Why
command,
did you
Sir
delete it?
Carlo.
Or did you just need some space in your hard drive?
Yes. That
That
and I
makes
was
sense.
waiting. I was waiting for you to finish Liza P, so we could all start playing it together. I didn't
Oh.
think you would join already.
Yes, babe.
that
Liza
makes sense.
Pinocchio.
I mean,
You know what's taking up a lot of storage? Me having the Mass Effect collection.
No, my goodness.
What's taking up all my storage is Call of
I
Duty.
did actually, I purchased separately the Legendary Edition because I was like, you know what? It has all the DLCs in there, and if I don't have access to PS Plus anymore, that I will have access to it.
hey Sarah,
Really now?
I actually got the Mass Effect with all the DLC free on the PS Plus subscription. I downloaded it once, but I said, okay, I'll set it aside. If I can just download this next time and then play it if I want to.
Yeah, it offered it to me for like $10 because it was like, all right, do you want to buy it for like 90% off? And I was like, you know what? Let me just do it. So I can play it even though I don't have a PS Plus subscription activated. Because, you know,
So wait
this
a minute,
whole
you
subscription
didn't-
pro...
You
What?
didn't renew PS Plus?
Yes, I did. It's just if I don't want to, like if I want to skip like a few months, I can do that.
Oh, okay, that makes sense. That makes a lot of sense.
Because
supposed to be
I
talking to
noticed
you.
I don't play like a full year with the PS Plus subscription, and you know, I'm keeping in mind the fact that, you know, because I was in Puerto Rico for almost a month.
Oh, maybe y'all
I
can
was
help me
like-
out. I have a dialogue that I can do at Rosa Isabel Street at the end of the bad ending. Who am I supposed to be talking to here?
Wait, what's the question again?
The only one I don't remember doing is the one where somebody asked for Frozen Feast. Other than that, I don't recall.
That's
I
the
know there's a
merchant at
lady-
the...
Yeah, there's a lady in Rosa Isabel Street. You have to get a wine from Vanini Arcade for her.
Yeah. It's telling me I have a dialogue that I can trigger here.
Yeah, it usually shows you that.
But I don't... There's nobody here.
It's probably... Well, is it the beginning of the game or the end of the game?
End of the game.
Oh no, you're not gonna have access to a lot of NPCs once you progress a certain point in the game. That's why they have the nice little tab label when you go into the Stargazer to show you who you need to talk to.
I know, that's
You know
what
what
I'm
I like
saying.
about this
It
game
highlighted
also?
this,
Highlighted what?
It highlighted the, Rosa Isabel Street.
Because there's also a merchant that you can gain access to on Rosa Isabel Street.
Know about him, he wants Frozen Feast, the weapon. But I don't know, this is weird. Maybe because I already went through with the ending of the game.
Probably.
Yeah, that could be an option.
Nice shot.
I'm trying out this because I just saw in my chat about this Nightbot thing. I need to go into that website again.
You know, it's probably good that I'm prepping because the controls are different from Sekiro. I have to be mindful of that.
They're similar in most ways, but not all of them.
Not
for
all.
sure.
Maybe the fight one, the fight controls and the block controls, but not other things. You know, I watched someone actually complain about that, and I'm like, actually, the extra bag allows you to access things easier. That's the one difference in here that makes it more accessible. Because in Bloodborne, to access your extra bag, it was kind of like a hassle because you had to hit the trackpad.
Oh yeah, that one too. And then you'd have to like funnily enough, because I was booting it up earlier when I was trying to do that comment video thing that I was telling you guys about, and then I did Bloodborne, and then it took me a while to remember I had to press on the right deep trackpad for that other option, and then the left portion of the trackpad for the other option too. I was
Yeah,
like, oh okay, now I remember.
that's why I say you can make like a chart and just list it. Because it's a lot to remember.
It is a lot, yeah. I wanted to probably point out like the similarities I found now that I played like the other four From Software games, what they have in common with Lies of P. That's one other thing.
You know, it was funny because I was putting together some clips to be able to, because I did watch someone's video, and they were comparing the entirety of Sekiro to Lies of P, and I'm like, you can't really do that. To be able to decide which one is a good game and which one is not a good game, because they are totally two different games.
What was the point of that video that you mentioned?
There's a lot of similarities between the games, though. We can.
But the thing is, with Lies of P, it has similarities from Sekiro.
Yep.
Very minimal amount of it. It also has it from Bluff.
A lot. I don't know about minimum.
Well, it depends on how you look at it, but really, it's just like it has similarities from Sekiro, it has similarities from Bloodborne, and it has also similarities from Souls.
Yeah.
That some of the things the guy was comparing to, this person was comparing, I'm like, yeah, the reason why your weapon breaks is because it's taking it from Souls. You can break your weapon in Souls if you don't get it repaired. And it's the same in Bloodborne, like, you have
With
to
the
repair your
durability.
weapon. You have to repair your weapon at a certain point if you want to use the full capacity of it. So, the only one that doesn't do that is Sekiro. That it deviated from that. So there's different things different mechanics you can pick from, because it technically Liza P cherry picked from quite a bit. So it's just, you have to go out about it that way. But, you know, Sekiro, its core mechanic is, you know, the deflection.
Parry deflection, and which Liza P took it, and then, you know.
Yeah, but it's not its
did it in a different way.
it's not its core mechanic. That's the difference between Sekiro and Liza P.
Who was throwing bombs at me?
Liza P, I'm like, it's one of many mechanics that you can use to win the game. Oh my god. Whoops! I forgot to charge my thingy.
I'm trying to remember now. What was that one thing that I remembered was similar between Liza P and Demon Souls? There was one thing that I kept remembering because I thought I was gonna
Runbacks?
to remember this one. Huh?
Runbacks.
What do you mean with runbacks?
Like boss runback, the boss fight runbacks? Like you
Yeah,
have to...
you. No, actually, no.
No, not
Heavens,
that
no.
one. No, there was another thing.
I hate when it does that.
Liza P is much better since they give you a save point outside of the boss room, so how can the runbacks be comparable? Demon Souls, you only have one checkpoint.
Yeah, I think it's with the other From Software games, if you die within the boss arena, then your souls, your runes, you'd have to pick them up inside the boss arena.
Come on, where is
The one
it?
thing
Where
that
is it?
Liza P did unique was that it happened outside of the boss arena. I'm trying to remember what it was that was similar between Demon Souls and and Liza P.
Capacity.
No. There was something else.
They have a weight capacity. That's one of
Nice to
them.
see you. I never expected
Oh, yeah.
to be that. Want to take
Weapon
a look at what's in your
durability.
life? A nice loot, yeah?
Stamina bar.
I think that's
I
one
used to
thing
be
in
a fan
common
of the
with
actress
the other
Patricia.
games.
Not
Yep.
the red
Um,
actress Adelina, but her sister.
I killed
Patricia
her.
had an angelic voice like her sister. If she'd become
There we
famous,
go.
they would have
I
called
mean,
her
in
the
Liza
Black
P, you get a
Goddess.
shield.
Nah, I'm gonna switch.
Her
Oh
career
yeah,
was
yeah.
cut short.
I've seen that. I've seen that before. Within the first 6 months after the game first came out, the Aegis Legion arm.
I'm like, literally, if you don't want to learn Perfect Guard,
I'm gonna have my
you
game.
get that shield, you can just, like,
The theatre.
block attacks, except
The most
fury
irate
attacks. You can't
memories,
block
it's
that with
probably
the
designed
shield.
still.
But literally, you can just poke enemies to death.
It's funny because I can actually deflect projectiles in this game too, bullets and throwable items.
Yeah.
And then
I mean, it
one other thing
will
that
it will do chip damage, but
they do, just like in Bloodborne, I think.
yep, chip damage. Every
Sekiro
time.
doesn't have that chip damage thing, doesn't it?
Not unless you get the you don't take Kuro's charm. I think that's what it is.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
That-
true.
Yep. Then you'll take chip damage. Oh, what do I level up? That's the question of my story in life.
You know, the cat only appears at certain points of the game.
Yeah, who
Uh,
pointed it out? It like changes. It goes on top of the shelf behind Paladina.
Mm-hmm.
Because
I was so mad about that. I'm still mad about that. Can you believe I can hold a grudge that long?
I mean, the cat doesn't owe you anything.
That
Yes.
cat doesn't owe me shit, right?
No, but in the DLC you will get to pet it as a kitten.
Yep.
Oh
I
yeah,
noticed
the
that.
DLC is
No,
based
no, I'm
earlier
not gonna
than
buy
the.
that one.
It's a lot of time traveling, I think, from what
I wish. I mean, I still would have preferred the DLC to be
Hey,
more
Lenora,
expanded
what's up?
on like Dorothy, but
I think that's saved for the sequel.
all right, let's hit restart.
Well, hopefully, they're gonna do a lot more justice in the sequel. I'm sure a lot of people who love the game are gonna be looking forward to that.
Yeah, they are.
Yo, what's going on, Titanium?
But I like the concept that it's hinting at time travel.
It's not hinted. I think it actually is.
Yeah, because Sophia
You
time
actually do go
traveled
back
a
in the
lot.
past. Yeah, pretty much so. That's her main ability.
That's why she
Who,
actually
Dorothy?
already knows P.
Oh, Pinocchio.
P, who used to be Carlo.
You mean Pinocchio?
Remember not to spoil it for Gale.
Hmm?
I thought, I don't know. I
I'll tell
forgot
them
he's.
not to spoil it for you because you're still starting the game brand new.
No, he's deep.
Me? I'm already on chapter 3 in the factory.
One of you all
he's not that
have.
far.
One of you all have the stream playing in the.
Oh, I'm actually.
And then,
I just started though. I just restarted, so I wouldn't be spoiling it for him.
I restarted. Oh, that was a huge playback in my ear.
Ow. I like the moveset of this weapon I'm using.
So I've got a question for Gale. When did you first play Resident Evil?
Oh, me? As a kid?
Yeah.
Me.
I said, is your name Gale?
I didn't hear you.
Your name has to be Gale.
Speak up.
Oh, I get it. I get it. Who else Gale Gaming? That's your middle name, right?
Oh, great.
Right.
You're gonna marry our names then, man. Oops. Nope, not there. Not there. Okay. Let's break your weapon, man.
Let me
There we
switch
go.
this over. a little
Yeah,
bit
I have
more
to
voice.
remember that.
Ow. Yeah, to answer your question, I don't know when exactly I started playing that game. Resident Evil. I think back in. When did the originals of 2 and 3 come out? Somewhere 2000, late 99. I
Late
don't know,
90s.
late 90s.
Yeah,
Late 90s,
I
right?
think. Yeah.
Let me see.
3 might have been 2000.
Yeah, maybe around that time, 2000, 2001, I think. When I first started playing 2 and 3 original were the first Resident Evil games I played. And then it stalled. I didn't play from 4 up until 7. Although I got it downloaded here on my console. And I deleted it again to make way for Liza P. So, but yeah, I only played 2 and 3. And then...
Oh.
And then the remakes 2 and 2 and then 8 and then remake 3.
Me.
That's about it, really. And then
I knew
to fill
that
in the
was gonna
gaps,
happen.
as I mentioned before, to fill in the gaps of what went on between the franchises, I watched lore videos. I think there were 2 channels that talked about it. Like one of the channels started off their lore videos with describing the flower that that was founded by those 3 scientists that became the basis for the progenitor virus. And then the other lore videos started off with doing the games in canonical order, like relating the events and then just doing backstories and stuff to fill in the other details.
Okay, so you have almost similar time frame to who else? So
I
then
started
was
before
wondering,
him.
like, how do you? Oh, that's why I said almost. Almost doesn't mean the same.
Who has the
But I'm
same
wondering
time
how
zone?
you're. Excuse me? I didn't talk
don't-
about time zone. Oh, she's trolling me.
Weapon durability. Yeah, she's trolling, man.
I went right over
dumb.
your head.
That's funny. That's
Ow.
Yep, definitely. No, I was just thinking, like, how did their
Ow, ow, ow,
opinions differ so much? Because
Why
like,
are you
I thought
why-
Gale was basically came in with 7 and didn't really play the originals.
What? Final Fantasy?
No, Resident Evil.
Oh, okay. No, I haven't played 7 yet. I actually went straight with 8 before knowing that there was actually a beginning story with the Winters family in 7.
I love the winter story.
I don't.
And plays in first person.
Not Resident Evil.
Who else made this point across with that one earlier?
I guess so.
No, he didn't like 7 and 8 with a passion. That's for sure.
I'm not okay. So I'm not saying they're bad games. They're not Resident Evil.
In other words, they don't meet the criteria to you what qualifies as a good Resident Evil game.
I feel like they threw the Resident Evil name on that and then just threw Chris into the mix to say, "Oh, this is Resident Evil."
Oh.
No, it's not.
I missed out an item. Okay.
This is Resident Evil. It's not Resident Evil.
It's
I
not.
don't-
It's literally not.
I just really thought it was another way of storytelling, like just making more of a,
No.
what do they call those things, like a prequel.
It's a
Or fan
it's
fiction.
a dragged on prequel to a game that should not have been named Resident Evil.
Then what would it been called? It's still the T virus.
Whatever they wanted
Excuse
to
me.
call it.
Oh, it's not the T-Virus. It's
not the
completely
T-Virus.
7 and 8 are completely different viruses.
Yeah.
Original.
It's it's not virus this time. It's more of a fungal one. And that's why they called it the mold.
It's a stupid
Oh
one.
yeah. I liked it. I actually liked it. I feel
I
bad
think
now.
the story is good. The story is good.
Correct.
The characters are likable.
Correct.
However, the gameplay in what I want from a Resident Evil leaves much to be desired.
It's a different style of gameplay, but
No,
I liked it.
It's not Resident Evil though.
But I like that gameplay.
Nobody's telling you not to like it.
Yeah.
They're just telling you name should not be Resident Evil. It should be something else.
I don't think they can do that because usually in fanfic you kind of do have to
Right,
put
and
Resident
that's
Evil
my
on
issue.
there.
That's my issue with the game. They threw Resident Evil's name on there just to say,
But
hey,
it's
this is
still a
the new
fanfic.
Resident Evil game. No, it's not.
It's the official game from Capcom, and I'm telling you that they did their previous work dirty.
It's still pretty good for what it is. It's just you just don't want it to be called Resident Evil.
Okay, think of it this way, right? You loved a story about Jimmy Carter, and he was on this magical adventure. There's Jimmy Carter 1, 2, and 3. But then why is it called Jimmy Carter, right? When you're playing as Debbie Downer.
It has
In the fourth installment.
right, it has nothing to do with
I mean,
what
I
the
can
original.
understand for. I
That's
can
kind of
understand for 8.
that's a horrible analogy because you're using
It's not.
a person's name. Because Resident Evil, it's not one thing.
It is one thing.
No, it's not. It's a broad general title.
It's a zombie apocalypse, not a 10-foot tall fucking fiction. Not a 10-foot tall fictional laughable goddamn
I am.
I think he
Big
likes
breasted-
with Lady Dimitrescu.
big
That's
breasted
why he
like
takes
I'm-
issue.
Wait. Calm down. Everybody quiet. Has anybody ever seen who else this emotionally worked up before? Cause I think this is the first time.
No,
this
it's not
is
the first time.
too.
It's not the first time. It's not the first time.
I mean, he really doesn't like the title put on it. I'm like, I don't blame him, but it's still a fanfic, and it's a broad title. You can't use
It's
horrible
not a
analogy.
fanfic.
You
A
can't,
fanfic
you
is something
can't,
made
you
by
can't
fans.
use nonsensical analogies to explain, like to fight your argument. You have to
Ow.
find something similar to
Okay.
it. You can't
you
can't
go.
say Jimmy Carter and then you're playing Debbie Downer. Well, that is actually a more direct title name.
Alright,
And
we're
yes,
gonna-
people
let
would
me-
have
Okay,
that.
hold on.
So
explain.
figure
We're gonna
out
pause.
which analogy
We're gonna pause
that you
Liza
want to
P for
fight
a
your
second.
argument with.
We're gonna pause Liza P for a second.
There
Okay?
we go.
Resident Evil 1, 2, and 3.
Okay.
Raccoon City.
Uh-huh.
Resident Evil 7 and 8. In some random village that
Eastern
has
Europe.
where the guy is infected with mold.
Uh-huh.
Where do the two like correlate? There's no correlation between the two.
No, the correlation between the two is that
Is
it's
in
still under
8.
the term of
Isn't 8?
bioweapon
No,
terrorism.
it's not. It's something. It's completely different.
For me, it's mostly the gameplay I have an issue with.
Well,
I get where you're coming from, Gail. I get where it is a bio. It is a bio.
Bioweapon terrorism.
It's a bioweapon, right?
Technically, in
the
Japan,
virus was
the original
created.
name for Resident Evil is Biohazard.
The virus was created.
wow.
We get that.
That's interesting.
Yeah, Resident Evil's original name is Biohazard. They changed
There's
it
no
because,
correlation
America thought it
between the
wouldn't
two.
sell
They
well.
just threw Resident Evil's name on there because of somebody's experiments on them and said, "Yeah, this is a new Resident Evil game." It's not the new Resident Evil game.
Yeah, I don't think that you need to make it make the motive, the source of the infection similar to, make it correlate. I mean, because again, the way I see it, it's just another kind of BOW
Only reason
warfare that
only
other
reason
random
I was-
company is doing.
Right. The only reason I would say Resident Evil 4 is a Resident Evil game
Level
is
up.
because of Leon Kennedy.
I mean, I've noticed with the Resident Evil franchise, you are playing each game. You're playing a different character.
That's not true.
Except
Yeah,
in
well,
6
you're
where
playing-
you
you're
play
playing
4
different
different characters,
character,
I think. Leon.
Because I know in Resident Evil 4, because I played it,
Earl
was Leon
and
Kennedy.
Correct. Resident Evil
Cool.
2, you could play as Leon as well.
Leon
Yeah.
and Claire.
Yeah, you can switch between the two, and then there's actually Code Veronica, which is
Claire.
and
Claire.
I think you can play as Chris too. There's a section you play as Chris.
Yeah, you do.
Yep.
I
And then
mean,
there were. Okay, where am I? Here we go.
either way you look at it, I'm like, it's like trying to fight the argument because like the American version it called it Resident Evil, and then in Japan they called it Biohazard, which is kind of funny. And when I think about it, I was just like the other day I learned that the translation in Bloodborne, when they translated from Japanese to English, is totally different. A lot of it is different. So the interpretation of the story is different when you go the the Japanese version and everything, but when they translated it to the English version, because of how our language is, sometimes we kind of like change things, and it doesn't mean the same. So it's just like in this situation, well, I don't know, this is a hard, my brain is just farted at this point, but it's hard to argue with me about a broad title. I'm like, unless you guys come with an analogy of a similar broad title, because at the end of the day, I'm like,
Assassin's Creed.
any
Assassin's Creed.
Okay.
any spin-off or prequel
No, I can give
is
you
in
an
the
explanation
same,
right now.
it's in that same world.
It's not.
Mm-hmm.
It is kind of. It's like it's just a prequel
same
or
world.
even fanfics. They can put the
It is
same
not.
title to it. It's Assassin's Creed.
Resident Evil 7 and 8. Yeah, they are in the same world. Same
No,
timeline.
they're
same everything.
not.
No, they are.
Yeah.
Assassin's
I-
Creed. It's kind of
They
hard
are,
to
they are,
fight
they are.
on that because they do put the same mechanics, but it's different histories and time.
No.
So,
Listen to me, right? I have not played Resident Evil like who. But the reason why I
Excuse me.
cannot disagree with who is because I've been through something similar with Assassin's Creed. Assassin's Creed 1, right, all the way before Origins, you could be stealthy, you could sneak up on an enemy, one-shot them with your hidden blades, take their body, bring them in bushes, carry them, whatnot, right?
And then it turned into hack and
Assassin's Creed-
slash.
It turned Assassin's Creed Origin, Valhalla, and Odyssey. You have a dagger, but you cannot, like, your dagger to the throat of a guy doesn't kill him because he's level 4 above you.
So you're
Which I find to be utter nonsense.
complaining about the mechanics for that one.
Well, I've said from the beginning, Resident Evil 7
It's
and 8.
still Assassin's Creed, but they decided to change the mechanics based on the different settings they put in.
That is where I completely give them fault.
I can't give anyone fault. It's just upgrading mechanics.
It's a downgrade,
One-
actually.
I
one
mean,
thing that
for
I
you,
can't-
yeah, it is because you grew up with the stealth, but in the end of the day, every developer can change their mechanics.
one thing that I can agree with who else though is
It
that
feels like they've got in their original work.
You're
Yeah.
always going to have the original.
I think it's hard for me to get my point across.
It's going to be hard because at the end of the
I
day,
don't think Jade has a series or some
going
form
up.
of entertainment or media that she feels similarly enough.
I'm not dedicated
relate to us.
heavily. I'm not a heavy fan of anything. It keeps me pretty open
I'm
and
dead.
loose in life.
What the heck? He just dropped me off
Yeah,
the
but
roof.
then I'm not just gonna roll with the punches on certain things.
I don't know. That's why I kind of like it's hard to convince me of things because I'm coming from a realistic standpoint and a pragmatic standpoint. And because of that, I can't be a dedicated fan, a devoted fan of anything because otherwise it blinds me from a lot of shit. So if I get blinded, I can't critique things properly, or people just get upset over something that, you know, they can do whatever they want as a developer. They want to upgrade
It
their
depends,
mechanics and
honestly.
change it.
It depends, honestly, because
You know,
I completely understand what you're saying, and I can't tell you that you're wrong. But actively, it's a choice for me, and I don't wanna. I'll say it. I can understand them, but at the end of the day, they should keep their business in order, organized. That's what I mean. Resident Evil
You're
builds
kind of
itself,
lagging.
right? I'm lagging? Really now?
Well, I mean, not exactly. I mean, your voice was trailing off just now.
Okay. They should keep it organized in the sense that, right? Resident Evil built itself off of survival horror. You had the feeling of being desperate. you obviously could not kill every zombie. Ammo was finite, which is realistic. You can't find ammo everywhere. And you had to know which enemies to kill, which enemies to not kill, right? And organize yourself like that. The first 3 games are based off like that. The 4th one, the Code Veronica, the spin-off, is organized like that. It wasn't until Resident Evil 4 that they started moving into action.
Yeah.
But now that's where I kind of have an issue now. I didn't
They
know this
upgraded
before.
their gaming mechanics.
They didn't upgrade shit. The gaming mechanics are trash in 7 and 8.
I didn't think it was. I'm like, I played all of them, and it's just like every developer has a right to change their mechanics. I'm like, you're always going to have the original. That's the thing. I can fight that in films too, and series, because, you know, everyone's going to have their favorite adaptation of stuff. But really, a director is going to say, you can always just go watch The Queen of the Damned if you want. Like, you know, comparing, you know, I think recently the one I can compare the series of, you know, Interview with the Vampire with the film versions, which the film versions were not really dedicated to the source material of Anne Rice as much. They deviated from it.
Hear me out. That's like them making a new Blade movie without Wesley Snipes. It's not going to work.
But the thing is, there was a whole dedicated fan base to Queen of the Damned, but Queen of the Damned that they made film-wise with Aaliyah, which she was perfect as Akasha. I love that version of it. But that entire film deviated entirely from the source material. And
that's the same thing Resident Evil 7 and 8 did.
But the thing is, when a director did come along and create the series Interview with the Vampire, which is a lot more dedicated to the source material, he's only going to say it, well, you're always, to the dedicated fan base of Queen of the Damned, you're always going to have Queen of the Damned. This is just a different adaptation in that same universe. And of course, it's called Interview with the Vampire. So you get what I'm saying? You're always going to have your original versions, and they're remaking your original versions. They're just choosing not to pursue to make their future games the same way.
That isn't always the correct decision to make.
But it's their decision. It's their game. It's their developer.
Choose Puppet at all.
But you know, guys, so one thing that I had to agree with who else on one point is that you know, they lengthening the franchise way too long. There's always going to be a risk that the story might end up deviating from what was, you know, from what the I'll just say fans in general, okay, from what the fans in general were used to. Like, if we put Resident Evil and Assassin's Creed together, both of the franchises have gone on for so long. You cannot blame me, for my part, you cannot blame me for wanting to have an ending of sorts to end the entire franchise. And the challenge now, considering what has went on with the entire series, if ever they want to do that, the challenge now is how are they going to make the stories of these very long franchises end in an epic manner that will become so memorable that everyone will talk about it in the years to come.
Hear me out.
The honest truth.
They should have been ended.
I agree with you, but you want to know why they don't do it, and it actually
it makes money.
It's money.
There's still fools behind it.
But it's not just the money as well. It's the fact it falls under the same thing. They don't want to take risks anymore. And actually, the first industry to see that these production companies and developers deviated from making original work and taking risks, meaning deviating from a popular title. Aliens is a very good example. It's like, how many people have actually seen the Alien franchise? Like, watched the first one and watched the second one, And then you noticed a huge difference with the third one, which, you know, all three had Sigourney Weaver in it, and she was the first actress to actually just point it out entirely what was going on with the industry when she was working on Aliens 3, which if anyone has seen Aliens 3, I'm like, there's everything wrong with it. There's a lot wrong with it. And actually the original screenplay for it was totally different, but they threw it out. So the project she actually signed up for coming back as Ripley. They threw out the entire script that got her sold into doing that film, got thrown out entirely, and then they came up with that version that we saw right now, which she kind of did fight tooth and nail with that because she was passionate about her character as Ripley and that entire universe. But she said it. I noticed it then. They weren't taking any more creative risks anymore, that it was just moving and shifting to creating cash grabs based on the title and everything, because it had to be a guarantee that that film would make money. So, and that film was being made in the late 80s, so it already started in the late 80s,
a long time ago,
that they were moving away from making original creative work and being riskier with creating more thought-provoking films.
Excuse me.
So we're seeing that same issue in the gaming industry. They're trying to stretch a title, a name for a long time. And that really just falls under that problem. It's like, you know, the very same problem. It's in the film industry, it's in the gaming industry, it's in other creative industries, even with books.
Okay, hear me out. I'm not saying that the game doesn't like need to be there. They're good games. I want to make this clear. 7 and 8 are good games, but they do not need to be named Resident Evil. They could have named it something else to make that franchise last longer. Resident Evil 1, 2, 3 are core games. They serve a purpose. Resident Evil 4 served the purpose for Leon. Resident Evil 5 served the purpose for Chris. Leon's been hunting Ada ever since Resident Evil 2. Chris is searching for Jill because Wesker took Jill. Those games serve purpose. Resident Evil 6 was just straight shooter, go to war. It was a straight shooter game.
It didn't sell well.
Didn't sell at all.
Because
Resident Evil 7 and 8 are
core
complete spin-offs that have nothing to do with Resident Evil. That's
but
why
the name makes money. It's marketable.
Yeah, that
It
is
makes money. That's why I said Aliens, because look how far they stretched the Alien franchise.
I like
entirely.
that you said that. I like that you said that because I want to bring a point, right? Final Fantasy from Square Enix. They brought their sales report and they mentioned that the newer Final Fantasies, even 16, right? They're not selling as good. They are not. The company basically has been kept alive bit by bit by its core audience, people who's been there before I was born, right? But their core audience is starting to give up on them. People whose receipts said they bought games from way back then are starting to not buy now because they cannot deliver on what they want. The thing is, right, when you build a brand, a certain reputation, yes, you want to expand and broaden your horizon, but I think it's very much the worst thing to not try and keep your dedicated fans or your core audience fed. You can't do that. And what I see a lot of companies, they want to please more people, but some of the decisions they make
Exactly.
clearly at the expense of OG fans.
You know what?
The thing
good
is,
example-
you're fighting a brick wall.
Correct.
It doesn't
correct.
matter.
We are.
You're-
And I get
It's a
it.
huge
Like I said,
brick wall.
right, but like I said, I'm gonna say it again. Resident Evil 7 and 8 are not bad games. They're just not Resident Evil. But at the end of the day,
Let me go with it. No, never mind.
like, the fact still remains, money or not, they could have expanded that game more than what they did if they named it something else.
Like Yakuza games. The
Brick
Yakuza
wall.
games are the Yakuza games. No, listen to me, right? The Yakuza games are the Yakuza games.
Everyone's
There are
gonna
about 7 of
understand
them.
that.
There's a 2 different games, right? Set in the Yakuza world. Some of them have slight crossovers between Yakuza characters. But when they were making the games, the person was like, one of the directors was like, we're not naming it Yakuza. We're gonna call it Judgment. It's same world, similar mechanics, same style. We're gonna call it Judgment. And yeah, we're separating the 2 brands.
Exactly.
Those 2 games did so
what's a good example?
well.
You know what's a good example of that? Rockstar with Grand Theft Auto and Red Dead Redemption. Red Dead Redemption is a Wild Wild West version of Grand Theft Auto, but they're 2 separate games. They didn't name it Grand Theft Auto Wild Wild West. I mean, they didn't call it GTA Wild West. You get what I'm saying? It could have been something different, and they would have made more money in the long run if they named it something else. I just got shit on by two puppets.
Yeah, but I
Who's
agree
throwing
with
bombs at
you.
me?
I'm not disagreeing. I agree with you. But I keep saying you're hitting a brick wall because that brick wall that is very thick and heavy, because they could have done that if the actual CEOs weren't greedy as F, which they are. This is why that is the sole driver of it. That's the brick wall you're hitting. Some gaming developers are like, all right, let's take the risk, and that's where you see they take those different, like 2 different games, and they give it different games.
This is gonna hurt for me to say
we
this because I love this game so much, bro. But it's the same thing as Kingdom Hearts 3, bro. Kingdom Hearts 3 is not Kingdom Hearts. It is Disney Hearts 3. It is Disney Hearts 1.
That's the first time I've heard it.
So they're making sure they make money by using the same title.
Yeah, but that game was
greed.
so sought after by the core, like the core people that played it as a kid. And then you come out with Kingdom Hearts 3 and it is absolute Disney washed ass.
What do you think greed does? I'm like, that is the sole driver behind it. It's greed. They don't want to create a deviation from the title because they know the title will sell the game.
But shouldn't you be focused on your brand? But didn't you focus on your company?
I just want to throw that out there that it didn't sell well.
Only want money. Money is king.
Okay. So what about From Software then?
From Software.
Miyazaki didn't want to make Dark Souls 2 and he didn't want to make 3. He admit they pressured him because it was selling well. He said straight up, Dark Souls 3, no more Dark Souls. If one of y'all think you have my level of expertise to take over and make Dark Souls 4, I'm fine. But I'm not making a 4th one. He made Bloodborne. After Bloodborne, he's like, okay, I want to jump to Sekiro.
Bloodborne and Sekiro were actually being developed at the same time.
The point is, he didn't just randomly continue neither of them. Neither of them got a sequel.
Because one of them was owned by Sony and the other one by Activision.
No, Activision was the publisher. They
yeah, but
they
it's
didn't
still
get
they hold
Activision. Not deeply.
they hold the stakes to that game. You remember, like, rights to the game? They hold the biggest stake. That's why their name is on it. They say what goes on with the game. Same thing with Sony. This is why Sony doesn't want a Bloodborne 2. It's like, and they want you to forget Bloodborne because Sony does not like Bloodborne. They want you to forget it, but it's still popular.
So why, if it makes... You said these companies do it for greed. if Bloodborne makes them money, then why try to forget about it?
I don't know if it really does make them money. I think it's just about the fact that a lot of the old gamers, the dedicated gamers, they keep going back to it and putting in hours to it. But it's not necessarily selling a lot. Not as big as some of their other titles. And still, From Software, regardless, it just recently became a bigger name. A bigger name that you can recognize.
Let's see, they own...
Hey, Isa, welcome.
They were in legal battles.
Happy Sunday, everyone.
Bandai Namco. They fully own Elden Ring, and he doesn't want to make an Elden Ring 2 either. He constantly says he wants to move on to the next big thing, and it's worked for From Software. I don't see why the other companies can't or want to follow the same model.
Because, like I said, it depends on how greedy they are. Obviously, Miyazaki doesn't really, his pursuit is not to greed. He wants to create good games for people to have access to, and quality, somewhat quality games. That's why he created Bloodborne and Sekiro, which deviated from his usual thing, and I think, what, Armored Core?
Yeah, Armored Core's been there for a while. He brought it back because he wanted to do something with it.
So, get what I'm saying? But it was like a smaller developer, and the core focus was on creating games for its players. These AAAs, they've been around for a while. It is greed, and a lot of them are owned by private equity. Big AAA, you go look on them, who's the biggest stakeholder, it's going to be a private equity firm that has its fingers in it. I remember I mentioned this before.
I mean,
so
FromSoft is owned by
the moment you see
Tencent and
private
Kadokawa.
equity tied to it, it's always going to be about the bottom line.
But FromSoft is owned by another company.
Yeah, but it's not a private equity. It's owned by another firm that is owned by private equity. But they don't have to care about it, truly. It's just one of the many things they own. It's about monopoly.
I get where you're coming from, but the original argument still stands. Resident Evil 7 and 8 is not a Resident Evil game.
Yeah, but it's the developer's choice if they want to change that name. I agree with you.
It's the
It could have
developer's
been
choice
called.
if they want to change the name. It's the fans' voice if they want to accept it. I don't accept it as a Resident Evil game.
Well, all the fans have to do is vote with their wallet.
Yeah,
True.
pretty much.
I'm buying it at the cheapest price discount possible.
And that's why I didn't buy it at all. So
I feel the same
Funnily
way
enough,
about
I
Final
didn't buy
Fantasy 16.
any of the other succeeding Resident Evil games too. Because, I don't know. Maybe because I wanted to save a bit, or maybe because I was waiting for it to be on sale.
I'm gonna die for that.
Remember, I mentioned that I would play games that would interest me, and then I don't know, for some reason it hasn't triggered. You know, it hasn't triggered it to me yet about playing and buying these other games as well. Heck, I have downloaded RE7. I haven't even played that one yet.
Waste of time. Don't even bother, bro.
But anyway,
You
we can all
can't just
agree.
say, you can't say that because you're a hardcore RE fan. I'm like, he might actually enjoy it. He might
But we can all
actually
agree
enjoy
anyway.
it.
But I'm sure we can all agree with the point that I was saying earlier, that there's always a plus side, and there's always a plus and minus side with regards to extending the franchise of a particular genre. Take what the actress Linda Hamilton, if I got it right, said
Terminator.
about the Terminator movies. Yes, exactly. That certain phrase that she said about milking the cow was too much by the time that they finished with Terminator 3. And there are just some franchises that, okay, fine, if they are selling well, just have to improve on it. Maybe do some spin-offs, but do a lot of improvements, and then that hopefully will still click with the fans, or give it a graceful ending, because a franchise can only go on for so long that that you become
It-
numb to it, and then
Depends
it's
on
just
how
like,
it's done, honestly.
yeah, that's true. It will depend on how it's done. So it's either bottom line aside, whether this is going to be done out of greed or anything, it will only go two ways. They have to improve on it so that it goes on for how long they want it to continue, or it has to have a graceful ending so that the fans will have something to talk about in the years to come. It's like, that's just it.
You know what the hilarious thing about all of this? Even though you're 100% correct, I agree with you.
Why, hello.
Excuse me.
You know, Alien 3 had a better script. That's why I mentioned Sigourney Weaver. That's how she got signed on. They know they can do a phenomenal script, but they don't want to do it. They'll toss it out.
So why
They'll
did they
toss it out.
Excuse me.
They tossed it out because, like Sigourney Weaver said, and actually even Linda Hamilton said, I guess she did say it, milking the cow, but doesn't mean milking the cow with actually good material. They're going to
Milking it,
very
they
much
draining the
cherry
cow.
pick. They're cherry picking the material of what would actually sell. So that really that really hinders creativity. Because someone did mention about the original script, that she did mention about the original script, what she was sold on with Alien 3. It was supposed to do with a cult first, and they were going to do some interesting things with that concept, but they threw it and
similar
out.
thing with Resident Evil movies. After Resident Evil 3 Extinction, I realized, because remember, I did not get into the games of Resident Evil till late.
Uh-huh.
Right, I was almost a full adult by the time I got into Resident Evil games. And now I realize after Resident Evil 3, I realize the movies are trash. They are absolute trash, but I hear the fans though always mention about the games. And when I did check them now, I realized the games had a much better storyline. Right?
Yeah,
Than the
they
movies.
deviated
They did,
from
yeah,
the original.
Absolutely.
Paul,
They do-
when I got into and started understanding the full storyline of Resident Evil, and then I went and understood the full storyline of Paul W.S. Anderson's movies, I was like, how in the heavens? Because Resident Evil movie 1 and 2 were acceptable. They were acceptable. Alice was an interesting addition,
Aw, that
but
killed.
after that, I was like, why did I watch this again? Like, they were just terrible. And I
That's-
don't know why they let this guy get away with this shit.
Because he wanted to create an action-based type of film with Mila, what's-her-face,
Jokovic
Mila
and
Being
wife.
the-
Jovovich.
to be
Yeah.
the star and center of it and deviate from the original story. Because that's what it was about. It was about selling an action movie with
Ow.
nothing really much using that franchise. But, you know, even when they created the film Welcome to Raccoon City, which I thought was very similar to the game, still fans didn't like that either. I think it's just, but I don't know. I'm like, the one with Mila, I kind of like just saw it for what it was. Just a cash grab and something entertaining with lots of explosion and action scenes that seemed good. Seemed okay. But that's pretty much it. If you wanted
There we
it to
go.
be same as the Resident Evil games, yeah, you were going to be very disappointed. But I guess before you played the original games, you kind of did enjoy the films. You enjoyed the action.
I enjoyed the first three, but after which I realized they were just garbage. Because they just didn't add up. My first issue was Resident Evil 3. While I did like the action, I instantly realized that how the virus worked and dried up the ocean and killed plant life made absolutely zero sense. That was a terrible design decision to just force the world to end on their terms.
Yeah,
And then that's why I ended up reaching for the games, because someone said the games, this stuff never happened. I was like, what?
No,
was like, how did
the
they
do?
Netflix show was supposed to be different from the other adaptations.
They still went into the... How difficult is it to be offered a check, a budget, and be told, hey, give the fans what they want?
Yeah, that's not. You're not gonna get that from the producer.
Yeah, that's part of the problem.
A lot of shows that were faithful,
the producer's gonna say, make something that's going to sell and make a lot of money in the box office. That's what they're selling. They're not telling make the fans happy. They're saying I want this to make money.
Yeah, that's why Henry Cavill quit The Witcher.
Yeah, it was about the money. He did a good job with it. He did an excellent job playing as Gerald. But that's the thing he was going up against. He was going up against, okay, how they're writing these scripts, these screenplays, is solely based on what will sell.
Yeah, he basically said he plays the games and he has read the books.
Yep.
So, from a fan's perspective, you enjoyed his portrayal as Geralt, but then like, as soon as they're deviating, he says he'll either quit if they don't like stick to the original. They still let him quit. Like, what the?
That's because even though he's an actor that can make them a lot of money, still there's people that are money.
How?
That sign his paychecks.
Yeah, so they, well, like, for them it's like, oh well, we lost money on this project, nothing, no biggie.
Yeah, pretty much. Because the people who make these films, they have a lot of capital. They have a lot of capital. They don't care if an actor says I'm gonna quit and everything.
So if they have a lot of money, shouldn't they care about how their work is perceived, like whether people like it or not?
No, they only
Since
care about
money isn't an issue for them.
No, they know what will sell in the first box office real quickly, so that's why they want it that way. They don't want something that is going to build over time, because you know, stuff that builds over time builds like the dedicated fan base. They don't really care about that.
Oh, I can give an example of one company when I looked into it that does actually. There's a formerly turn-based, turned into mixed turn and action turn-based system of RPGs called the Trails in the Sky series. They're headed by a company.
Never heard of that one.
Yeah, it goes back pretty long way, honestly.
Okay.
Neon Falcon. Hey, what's up, Gradient? Welcome to the stream. Thank you very much for the like. Neon Falcon. To this day, they've been going on for years. There are at least 17 entries into their game franchise, or 17 or 16, one of them, but it's still going on to this day. One, they almost don't make games for general world. They made it more for their region. People had to fight tooth and nail to get a adaptation, right? To get a translation. Even then, it'll come out in Japan this year. We gotta wait at least 2-3 years for it to come out for us. Like, they are hard pressed, only making their games, and they are successful JRPG series. Make no mistake, they are well known in the community. Their games sell, and they are making it specifically for their audience over in Japan. And like, the international audience is an afterthought. And I'm thinking, watching this, I'm like,
why can't other companies think this way and be this way?
No, they don't have to be one for one, but along a similar path, because they're not struggling. The latest, a part 2 to their latest game came out. It sold well, they made money. I didn't even know. They ain't struggling.
See,
like some of these other companies who
I still understand where you're coming from, but you're still
they're
fighting. You're still fighting the same argument. You're still fighting the same argument. Why can't other companies that are greedy as fuck can do this? Truth is, they're not smart. They're not intelligent. All they think of the money, and of course, yes, they're going to not make the games that fans want.
Ubisoft, I guess Ubisoft are idiots then.
A lot of them are. That when they deviate from things and they want to make their fans angry, they're not smart, and that really the bottom line is their focus and everything. And yeah, there's other companies that are not greedy and they want to make their fans happy, and then they make the money. But you're acting like these developers and the people have the big pocketbooks, that you act like they have any form of morality to them, or that they're thinking on the same level. No, they're not. Each person is going to be on a different level of greed, or one that really wants to please their fans, and they just happen to make money that way. The person that is on the other end of the spectrum is not going to see that. They're not going to see it from that perspective at all. It's like every human being has their own different morality and value system to them. Think of it as these developers and the CEOs of these companies are the same thing. It's a variation of them. Someone's going to be greedy as hell. They don't care. They're going to cash grab. They're going to deny their fans, any happiness. And then there's ones that are going to bring their fans happiness. It's just like you have to accept that until there's regulations, or maybe remove the greed from it entirely. This is what you're going to get. It's a huge brick wall. It's a thick brick wall that's very hard to fight against. We can all speak rationally all day about all of this because we see it from.
If any one of us ever starts a gaming company, at least we're looking not to follow.
Yeah, exactly. But
considering Jade's statement, it reminded me of the controversy that happened between Konami and Hideo Kojima. The split between why he was removed from the company. There were a lot of reasons as well. From Kojima's point of view, he thought that the company was more concerned with money making than making the games that the fans will like, because I think there was mention. Yeah, because there was a mention that apparently most of the people from Konami were people who didn't know about the main characters of the games that that were under their wing and all of that. So yeah. It just reminded me of that thing and what you were saying just now.
It's in all the industries. It's in the anime industry. It is in the film industry. It's similar issue. Similar issue. I'm like, we like to think they're different issues.
Ow.
No, they're the same issues, the same problem in every single industry, including my industry of writing books.
Oh shit.
I'm like, it's the same shit, and it's hard to be creatively open when there's a limitation.
I'm laughing because there's a certain author I followed for a little while now, and we'll just say with their latest book and the direction they're heading in, that new audience better be supporting him good, because he's just lost a good lot of old audience. That's why I'm suddenly laughing. Because it does feel like he's selling out for
paycheck
attention. Not paycheck, attention, because he's already made it very clear. From his investments, he doesn't have to work anymore. He doesn't. If he doesn't write a book, he'll be just fine.
That kind of mindset.
He wants to cement He wants to cement like a Tolkien J.R.R. Martin kind of legacy. By any means
God.
necessary.
So basically, the ego got better of him at this point.
Oh, your weapon's broken now.
I realized it a long time ago, but with this new installment, I think I've just proven what I already knew. The moment he said he wants to be that guy who's talked about like J.R.R. Tolkien, I realized like, wait, something ain't right here. And now it came to pass for real.
Yeah. I don't particularly like people like that who just want to expand their egos more. I'm like, if you already have enough money left to retire, just freaking retire. Like, why do you need to boast your ego?
I understand.
Hit him with that big ass hammer, yo.
But in order for
Oh my goodness.
Oh, do you like my hammer?
will catch up.
Actually, I like to take out the hammerhead and put it on the butcher handle.
No.
It's a better weapon that way.
No, hammer. With the big handle.
No, I don't like it. I usually, although I do like it when I put one of the daggers
Bro, you
on
just,
the big
you
handle.
just gotta fight back, yo.
It's too slow for my taste.
Funny enough, you know, I was actually surprised when I was trialing myself with this here in chapter 3 that I managed to get like 3 weapons. The fire axe, the salamander dagger, and there was one other weapon.
See
that?
that?
The salamander dagger.
One
is loaded.
hit.
Yeah, like I was like, oh, one area I got like 3-4 weapons already.
Oh, I didn't rest. Damn.
There's more, you know. There's more because you probably haven't boosted the blade yet.
You know what?
Boosted the blade. There's a part with a giant robot in a pit of poison.
Oh, you mean the Puppet of Tomorrow? Yeah, I got that one too.
The future puppet.
Yeah, I haven't recorded it yet because I tested out the area to see how I was gonna be able to manage it, and then on your advice, I fought the boss of chapter 3, the you know, that fire robot thing, Fulco. Yeah, Fulco. And
You gotta love that boss.
it took it didn't take me long to
don't
read into his
particularly like him.
movements actually.
You have to
I don't
do both
particularly
parry and dodge with him.
Yeah, I did parry and dodge him, but parrying him, because I think the wind-up time of his right arm attack was a bit long.
Yeah, the timing of
And
that
getting
is very weird.
Oh my god. Don't you just love those delayed attacks?
But it feels like he inputs read me a lot. Because when I'm waiting to
I
parry, he
am
just
level
doesn't do anything.
47.
Okay,
Yeah,
let's do this.
That's fine. Good.
Yeah, spam it. Spam it. Spam it. Spam it. Spam it.
So I'm level 47,
Ah, that's satisfying, yo.
and I'm level 30 with my motivity stats now.
Really?
Oh, go back like
Some of my
1 minute
viewers
in
are
my
learning
streams.
my tips and trades here.
you need to see how to use this hammer, yo.
Is that the Mjolnir hammer you're talking about?
Yes, sir.
Oh yeah. Isn't that scaling with what? With technique or motivity?
Motivity.
Motivity.
Oh yeah.
Big weapons usually scale with motivity, which is strength.
Ooh.
Yeah.
Mhm.
I started off with a motivity build.
Yeah, and then you switched off. You left my team.
Huh?
Whose
Okay.
team did he join?
You left
Yeah.
my team.
What
Ooh,
team?
I broke it.
The strength weapon, big heavy weapon build team.
Unga
I haven't
bunga.
gotten any strength. I haven't gotten any big weapons yet. I know my what's this one I'm using? The Azure Dragon Crescent Glaive is the one that scales off on B, but with my motivity should be fine until I get my first, you know, strength
Yeah,
weapon.
that scales with more with technique though, I thought.
It does, yeah, but it has its uses. So,
Okay,
funnily
I
enough,
gotta-
it managed to carry me
I-
through up until Fulco.
I gotta
That
wait.
weapon will carry you through the rest of the game, honestly. It's pretty
Bro,
broken.
In Lies of
If I
P,
did the technique build,
in Lies of P, weapon scaling doesn't seem
Where's the
as
cat?
significant as, let's say, the FromSoft games. 'Cause I nearly ignored that, and then I pumped points into my stats for certain weapons, and I realized like the difference isn't significant enough for me to focus on scaling. In Lies of P, I find. I'm the only one who sees it that way.
That's
No.
because Lies of P has 2 different ways to upgrade your character.
Oh my,
Well,
what
one thing
the
I
fuck?
liked about this game is that, you know, with those side quests, you know, when I noticed it the other day when I go into the map, you know, like for example the one with the weeping woman, where
Yes.
it asked where you had to get that puppet baby. When I looked on the, you know, when you go to the Stargazer, and then you and it was, and then I
Yeah, it
saw on the
tells you
Star.
there's a quest for it.
Yeah, it is. At first I saw, oh, what is this one? Why is there the puppet
Lies of P
baby
is very
also?
user-friendly.
So
It
it
is.
actually guides me to where it was, you know, where the side quest originated. So it's not hard for me to find it. I won't get lost that easily.
Yeah, it
I
doesn't
remember
tell
back
you
in Bloodborne,
exactly.
I had to go around, like, where was that again? Where I found that character to do that side quest? It was like I had to read it up.
I admit I wouldn't mind at times if FromSoft did a
Excuse me.
quest log. Like you don't have to give me a guide telling me where exactly to find something. A reminder
This
of
conversation with the quest log months ago.
Ah, come on.
Last
one with the
year!
yellow markers and
Last
stuff.
year!
Was it last year? Oh yeah, it was last year.
Oh
well,
my
it wasn't this
god.
year for sure.
Yeah, because it's been a while since we did the podcast. Yeah, with the yellow markers that indicate where you should go next.
They don't have to add that. A reminder of, hey, you talk to this NPC, you need to answer this. You know, a light reminder. Just what to focus on, madam.
Bitch.
At the same time.
I don't think I got the upwards yet.
I remember, oh yeah, I was supposed to
Oh, that hit
I was
me.
supposed to discuss about how gaming wanted to be considered a fine art.
Hey Kayla, thanks for coming in.
I can sort of
Having a
see
good
that
weekend.
happening.
It did, it's already a fine art. It's been a fine art from the beginning.
Depending on what the game is going for, like if it's the themes and the stories, I can see something like that.
It's,
Not all games are trying to be art.
they've been like this for quite a while. It's just they had
Oh,
the
that
struggle
mess.
to be seen as a fine art because what do you see at what is to you what do you consider
Oh my
a fine
god.
art?
He's gonna get
Something
that
that
back.
can invoke a strong emotion or so. See something will be speculated, talked about by the viewers. Like if I see it and I'm like, okay, sure, it just serves the purpose of entertaining, no. But if it's like, let's say, something like Silent Hill, that makes you question the human condition, morality and such, I can consider something like that fun.
There's a lot of
In my
games that are
opinion.
fine art. It's not all emotion has to be
That's a grab.
transformative. It just has to invoke an emotion.
Yes, I can agree with that.
So, did you know my type of art wasn't even considered art?
You mean the stuff you've shown us?
Yeah,
Ow.
because the
I mean,
standard.
you
This-
drew a PlayStation controller. I saw one. I can't remember what you used. If it's wood or clay. It was red and white. I remember seeing it. But if you look,
Oh, I'm dead.
gorgeous and unique.
See, that type of art where it's more artistic
Ah, I
expression.
knew it.
Oh,
Back
That grab
in
is
the
a one
day,
shot.
there was this like even I had to learn about it. I'm like there was the Academy Art standard. What would you consider the Academy Art standard? looking at a Da Vinci or looking at a very realistic piece. It didn't deviate into other direction where you express yourself through texture, a wide range of colors, or even, what do you call it, not using the traditional media, because there is non-traditional media that wasn't considered a fine art or an art form at all. And even to this day, it was a struggle to even get gaming to be recognized as an art. First stages, like, you know, like Picasso and these other figures that deviated from the Academy of Art, they weren't seen as legit artists until they had to rebel against the Academy of Art. So it took a minute for even my type of art form to be recognized as art. So gaming, same thing. It just recently,
people not that much.
probably not even been 10 years, got seen as a fine art, even though it was already adapting it as a fine art. It was already creating it like you're creating art for quite a long time. Because I'm like, almost a lot of games, even like, what was it, the Zelda for the 64, I'm like, it had a narrative. It was done in a particular artistic way. It already started going that direction of implementing the things that you would see in arts and everything. So when you think about it, I'm like, it was a struggle for them to even get recognized, where even in school, it's a fine art. It's a fine art. It's been an art, but people don't know what really falls under what's art. I'm like, even cooking is an art. I mean,
God damn it, I got caught by that grab again.
Because I use what's his name again? Silent Hill as a example, because
yeah, it's psychological.
right, it doesn't, not just that, but
Alright, we might not be able to use the hammer against
it
Scrap
provokes
Watchman.
some emotion in the viewer,
Because
and it can provoke it in a wide variety. Some feel
Imagery.
sorry for James, some
Imagery.
feel angry at him, some feel
Nice,
disgusted,
okay.
some feel neutral.
See,
There are
with,
certain things that aren't conveyed to you directly, but seeing it, you pick up and learn and observe things, even they're not directly told to you.
but
It
it's
does a lot.
it uses imagery. It uses musics and sounds, and it uses a complex narrative. It all makes a cohesive piece of art.
Come on.
And it makes it thought-provoking, and even, you know, what its core intent, which is usually hidden, like, you know, in books and stories, there's a moral of a story. Games have that too. And it's like some are more subtle than others. It's very hidden well. But a good portion of games, they do have a moral to its story. And it uses all these different things like imagery, sounds, story, and its own art form, but now it's really considered an art form. An art form that a lot of people want to get themselves involved in. But before it wasn't. It was looked down upon. It was like, what are you doing? What are you making? That's how it was. But like, even From Software, you know, with its titles, especially Bloodborne, which, you know, is cosmic horror, gothic cosmic horror.
Fast.
I'm like, regardless, it does have a propaganda to it. It does have a moral to its story. But it's how they tell their story. It's a lot more cryptic, which, you know, even me, I have to recognize that it's just another way, a form of telling a story. It's just not my favorite way of telling a story, but, you know.
The cryptic setting for some props, I've come in a little burnt out sometimes, but I know I was pissed at the Elder Ring. I wish it would have had a more straightforward story like Bloodborne.
Oh, that grab is so cheap.
But it's just like at the end of the day, it is an art, a piece of artwork that they created. It's just, you know,
Don't get me
with
wrong, I recognize that it works for them in their advantage. It's the cryptic form of storytelling that has kept a lot of FromSoft games alive with the years of speculation and talk over the years, so the hype doesn't really die out. But still though, it can be a bit infuriating at times.
You know what? I have to think, even when I reflect on it now, gaming, I'm like, you have to balance all of that. You have to balance the art style, the design of the world, the narrative, the characters, even the type of music and sounds that you add to it. And not just that, the fact what the big part of the game is the gameplay mechanics, you know, what is going to make that immersion kind of come together. So either way, I'm now seeing gaming as a lot more complex form of art, because literally you have to interact with the gameplay. And if the gameplay is not good, like you're not enjoying the certain mechanics of it, it can destroy how you experience that game. So you know what I mean? Now talking to you guys,
That's true.
I'm realizing how complex form of an art it is, that all these factors have to go
So you
in.
understand me better now when I said that I did not, while it is a good game with a good story and characters, I did not enjoy playing The Last of Us.
But you know, it's just not your style of gameplay though. That part is always going to be like subjective. It's just going to be based on the personal experience, because I love the gameplay because it fits my style of gameplay, which is running and doing a little sneak attack here and there, and here and there getting a perfect shot. I'm like, who else likes getting headshots? So for me, I'm like, if I can get a headshot, awesome. Which, you know, Last of Us, you kind of do have to get a headshot with the clickers, but when you think about it, it goes well. It's just you're not style of gameplay.
Hey, Miss Guns, thanks for everything.
But I'm like, it's a good complex piece of art that is telling a really good narrative, and yeah, I'm like, you know, but all of it, it comes together. It's a very complex form of art. But can you imagine that type of game wasn't even seen as art? It had to fight. It had to fight for that position. Like, hey, we are a piece of art. We are an artwork form. You know, recognize us for this. I'm like, they even have to come up with a whole storyboard to make all of this possible. I don't even know what I'm leveling up to. Yeah.
Wait a minute. Are y'all going to get the series?
I think I want to do it with a new save.
That was what I was thinking.
Yeah, I mean, it wouldn't hurt, I guess, if we do a new save, but I want to see how I do with if I carry on my main save into the DLC.
I'm glad I didn't.
What about you?
That hit.
I'm making a better
I'm glad I didn't delete my old save.
Well, this is my brand new game anyway, so I'll use this one. Oh, I have to mute. I'm just eating right now. I'll be getting ready soon.
I'm glad I didn't mention about Helldivers and I just used Bloodborne as an example.
You can go ahead.
I'm like, Helldivers even has its own moral to its story and a propaganda.
Yeah, it's political satire.
Not only that, you know, because with the source material on it, it really, yeah.
Source material from what?
The original author for Starship Troopers.
I mean, Starship Troopers original idea was I think Helldivers is focused on satirical nature of
No, the movie was satirical.
Oh, you mean, okay, yeah.
The book wasn't. The book, it probably could be viewed as satirical, but it depends on how you look at it. But actually, the author was really pointing out, what if the U.S. became these different words, which I'm not going to mention because it probably flag our videos. So, but it really did. It really did point a lot of those things out. But Starship Troopers, the film, it turned it to satire, so you would not take it seriously. But the core premise of it was, it was all of these things that, we kind of go against as a society today, which I hope a good portion of us go against a lot of those things. But the games, it's the same thing in a way, but it's just more toward. You said the game is more satirical. The film was more satirical. It was satirical too. It's just.
I mean, you basically in Helldivers, Super Earth is one world government, right? Who wants to expand, so they come across the bugs. They learn that killing the bugs, they turn into this type of bio oil that they can use to fuel their ships. They come across an alien race called the Illuminate. It seems the Illuminate came in peace. Yeah, they fired war upon them and tried to commit genocide. They were said slaves or prisoners to mine on the planet. The miners turned themselves into cyborgs and wanted to become free. Super Earth is like, nah, let's just blow up the planet. No, if you don't work for us, you can't exist. And then they basically have these ad propagandas running around telling you should become a Helldiver. You should be a Helldiver. You should serve your nation. If you love freedom, liberty, you will become a Helldiver. But they basically give you like a month basic training, ship you out to die, and then you're easily replaced. Because each time you die and they reinforce you, the game is basically there. You're a brand new Helldiver sent from space. You can find your old body over there. So you're an expendable force that as long as humans exist, there will be Helldivers to die for their cause. And let's see. Jokingly, the game is like, remember to take breaks if you want to be remembered as a coward.
Jeez.
Remember, only traitors are curious about alien artifacts. Merely mentioning that Super Earth might be bad is treason punishable by death.
You see, it is satirical.
Yes.
But we all know what the bugs represent and what everything other than you being the soldier in Helldivers, what they represent. That's the thing that, when you think about it, that's exactly what it is. It means one word. Well, it means multiple words, but it's really just the one word, and it starts with an F. Okay, it starts with a freaking F, and that's what it.
Like that.
So it's like, and in Bloodborne, there is a propaganda to it too, but it has a lot of different elements to it that it touches upon. That's very interesting that I didn't see before, but it really just depends on the person and their experiences and their own knowledge, and they see it clearer. Because
I mean, Bloodborne, the main take I take from Bloodborne is that humans messing with things that they have no business messing with, but because it's human nature, they do it anyway, and they push the boundaries they should not.
I mean, if you go look it up, what is the propaganda of Bloodborne? I looked it up, and then I looked at the game myself, and I was like, all right, now I see it. I can see why they saw it and everything. It really, when I think about it, it does in a way. It is anti-religious and anti-science. It's those two at once.
Same could be said for Final Fantasy, actually.
I mean, there's a lot of games within their story. They make fun of Western religion.
Not just Western religion. So Final Fantasy has a long history of doing something that many people come to ignore. I've only heard game theory mention it when he said Final Fantasy is anti-religion. Basically, let's see, Final Fantasy 2, the evil emperor goes to he kills himself on purpose, conquers hell and comes back. You kill him. Let's see, Final Fantasy 7, Sephiroth wants to become a god by absorbing the energy of the entire planet. You kill him. Kefka, the main villain of Final Fantasy 6, does become a god, but because he's crazy, he rains hellfire on the world and torments survivors. You kill him as well. Final Fantasy 13, you're living in a society of people ruled by these beings that are godlike. But no, the gods themselves, they want their creator. So their goal is to force the gates of heaven open by killing enough people to make their souls pass through. You kill them too. Final Fantasy 13, the carrying character at the end is like, we don't need God anymore. A lot, and that's just what I can remember. A lot of it is like, you're always killing the god or a god of multiple religions.
Pretty much.
Hey guys, I had to call it a night because I need to get ready for work now.
All right, brother.
Alright,
Yeah.
thank you for joining us.
Appreciate you being here.
I was actually glad that I was still able to join even for a bit.
I know, you added your takes.
Yeah, that's true.
You didn't really like the way you spoke in your recordings.
No, that's something that I need to work on, just like what you guys have mentioned. Because no, I recorded it earlier, and then I listened to it, and I was like, nah, okay, this still needs a bit more work. So, yeah, I did say earlier that okay, I'll take those points that you mentioned to me, and then see if I can do that a bit more in a bit more systematic manner. So yeah, and then I know. I'll let you guys know when the video will come out.
All right, brother.
Okay,
Alright.
no problem.
You wanna know what I just realized?
What's up?
What?
I have not died yet in Lies of P.
That's good.
That's a record.
Oh, I died.
That's good.
I have not died
Yeah, I
yet.
died a few times already.
Oh, Gradient.
How far did you get?
I'm in the Krot City Hall. I'm taking my time because a lot of I was like trying to talk and I'm like chilling. This is like the chillest I've
Why
been
did I
in
jump?
Lies of P.
At least now I know how to deal with the
just beat,
bosses in chapter
Scrap
3.
Watchman.
So managed to get my
I
motivity
mean,
to
at
level
some point
30.
I'm gonna get to the Scrap Watchman, but it's like I'm not in a rush.
The Fuko the King's Flame. So a good method I thought was at that early you're not gonna be able to keep the stagger bar going for long. So a
Yeah, I
good
know.
thing
I
to
noticed
do,
that.
Like,
Yeah.
right. A good
noticed
thing to do,
that
and
when
since
I
you
fought
need
him.
to charge a heavy, you should have the salamander dagger in your inventory.
It's a like
Because it has the
dexterity weapon.
fastest heavy attack. So as soon as he glows, you pull out the salamander to use a heavy attack close to him. It
I
has
might try that one, yeah.
Yeah, who pointed it out? Its
Oh my
heavy attack
God.
is so fast, you can just use it as a regular attack the entire game.
Sheltering.
Alright, I'll give it a go. I'll give that one a shot. Yeah.
Cat in the box, a gradient.
Alright, guys. Hope to see you guys next weekend.
Yeah.
Take care,
All right.
and do have a wonderful day,
Cool.
man.
Have a happy Sunday. And thanks to everyone who dropped in on my chat. And to the cruise chats as well. You all have a good weekend.
You
It's
too,
Monday
brother.
tomorrow, y'all.
I can't believe
That
I didn't
reminds
grab
me of
any
a
of this.
sarcastic joke. It goes, I don't hate you. I'm not saying that I hate you, I'm just
You can get from City Hall.
That's for sure. There's that it's like a little bit too much, and I guess if wanted to put it from an artistic standpoint, they wanted to just overwhelm your senses with a lot of big structures, a lot of everything, a lot of texture, even though it's like they're sticking to the mute color palettes. But it's like, at the end of the day, everyone points it out, it's like, oh my god, you're like this small person in a big world. And I'm like, alright, that's the whole point of it. It was meant to overwhelm your visual senses to kind of like appreciate that structure. Even though I'm like, it could have been done a little bit more tastefully with a lot less. There was just too much. You notice like there's all this fencing even within the walls. Like when you're in a walled area, like there's just nothing but walls and there's like no need for the fencing. They could have just done without that entirely. I kind of looked at it and I thought it was ridiculous because you would never have a structure like that with that many metal fences. You would never. It's like, I'm like, could have done without it. It probably would have, you know, taken a lot less graphics. I don't know. But it didn't need it. So I just like, there was a lot of things that they could have did without, but I felt like they were just adding it all in all over the place. At least when I go throughout Lies of P, it looks very cohesive, and there's, you know, I like that there's the touch of all the dead bodies spread all over the place. It's not overly done.
Just ask him.
I mean, that's just my opinion, but yeah.
You gotta be curious about the
Better ending, even though this is going to be the one for the DLC that I'm going to probably play with. I don't want to play with a level 5, I mean a 5 playthrough character that's overpowered.
Then again, I'm on New Game Plus. So.
You not playing overpowered? That's a surprise.
I know. It's sickening. I don't know why I'm this way.
I think you're becoming more FromSoft than you realize.
I know, it's sickening. I'm like, it's like I told you, I have not died once yet. I'm probably gonna die to this Strat Watchman, but I haven't died.
You see, all that Sekiro play has only made your skills
made her better.
and senses better. Exactly. Challenge breeds bred excellence. Even in the most unlikely of places.
Very unlikely. The one with the tightest parry window. Yeah, it does feel different. I started off a little bit kind of confused. I'm still confused a little bit, but because at least the block and the attack is the same as Sekiro, I don't have so much of an issue. I guess I'm well-rounded.
There you go.
I still like how I access the additional stuff in here. It's easier. I got my first record. Might as well go back to the hotel and listen to some soothing music.
I have an immense, no matter how much practice I take, paying attention to both Radon and his light beams. It's like mentally impossible for me. I cannot keep one in mind while actively avoiding the other.
If you stay close to him, the light won't hit you.
Oh my, yeah. I understand what you say, but you don't understand how I feel.
I know, bro. Trust me. I know. I fought the dude for fucking 3 nights straight over 4 hours a time. If you stay close to him, trust me, they won't hit you. You just have to, you gotta have some faith, bro.
Gotta have some faith.
That's not something I lack. I'm still going at it.
Yeah. I don't have to buy these yet.
Miyazaki really outdid himself in this fight.
Miyazaki used every resource imaginable to beat Radon.
I mean, he said it himself. Yeah, he said it himself. He doesn't hold himself to the new FromSoft standard of not using the. He says he uses everything he can again, and he sucks at his own games. He admitted that.
Oh, hey, Shino. Welcome. Welcome to the play. I am talking with the
Did Gale beat
SoulSlingers.
Fuwako?
I think he did. I should go back and check his stream.
If he did beat, good for him. I know he said he was having a hard time with that one.
He's the first roadblock in the game for me.
Really?
Yep.
Hello.
Listen to me, I fought right Fuwako for how long? Frustrated. I fought Archbishop Andreas.
I have to put
and then
you
I went
and
on to make
who's
videos
linking here.
immediately about making him my bitch. Fuwako is harder.
So who I'm talking to is Cold Zero to Wise, and who else gaming?
Good day.
They're my crew members that I play with every Sunday. We're fighting on what we're gonna call our gaming club, and
SoulSlingers, 100%.
we're calling it
you lost.
SoulSlingers. We're calling it. Well, we're ruffling the feathers here.
Sweet.
I'm assuming something funny happened
my
to you.
So, I mean, I died to something else, but he was gonna take a swing that was clearly gonna take my head off, but I accidentally casted a spell and ducked down on my knees, avoiding it.
It's okay, pal. Germany's
That's fine. But my character goes on his knees and avoids a swing to his head for an inch.
I guess I'm gonna try my first hand at the Scrap Watchman, see how it goes.
I enjoyed the Scrap Watchman fight, honestly, it's pretty fun.
Yeah.
Honestly. Yo, Gale.
You know, I just realized I haven't put any of my amulets on. Okay. Do I have...
Oh,
I
you
forgot I have
bastard.
this. Is it a soul channel? I mean,
Jade has primarily soul's work, but she pretty much plays what she wants.
You mean you hope? Oh, you hope that this is a soul channel? Yeah. I mean, the reason why we call ourselves want to call ourselves SoulSlingers is we do all play Souls, and we also play some gun fighting games like Zombie Army 4.
I'm not playing Elden Ring right now, but I'm trying to deviate away from Soul games. I do not
It's more
want
of a
to be known
subscribed
specifically
question.
as a Souls channel.
It's more of a subscribe question. Like, yeah, you can subscribe to them. I'm like, they got some really good gameplay in the Souls, so we don't even have one channel yet. We don't even know how to create one channel.
Ooh.
We're just a club.
I mean,
Oh, I remember this guy.
I am a.
Can you imagine? Can you imagine that channel?
You mean like we had, let's say, a joint channel that features everybody?
Yeah, that would be cool.
Actually, they do that.
Oh, is a follow-up to that?
They do that. We would need somebody to manage the channel for us.
He didn't follow up that time.
Probably the one who has the most gear.
No more like a man, actually.
Maybe. I mean, we could create one.
That sounds like a good idea.
Do something.
Yeah, we'll literally call it the SoulSlingers channel.
Yeah, then it features clips from all of us put together from different times and so on.
See, I have a subscriber that is initiating ideas for us at this point.
That's awesome.
It was just a simple question.
Oh, but I timed that right.
What, son?
This is Cold's favorite
How do you
enemy.
break my block? How do you break my block?
Okay, let me see how this plays.
My favorite enemy, which one?
The one with the 2 shields at Vanini Works.
Ooh, I landed that one.
I told you, shields are for pussies. I never use them as SoulSlingers.
Ooh.
That's your favorite enemy to fight. The guy with the 2 shields.
I usually just go behind him and stab him.
Jade runs
Yeah.
right past him. I don't have time for you.
The only reason I'm not playing Lies of Peace is because I wouldn't have never had time to download it. By the time I
Yeah.
realized what y'all were playing.
I was contemplating what I was gonna play for this stream. It was either this or Sekiro.
Why did you bail on Sekiro?
Oh,
Well,
God.
I bailed on Sekiro because
You know what's bad in this situation? Oh, no! Damn it.
I feel like I'm a little too good at
Nope.
Sekiro.
Really now?
Like to play it over and over again. I feel like I'm like I just don't get
No, damn it.
as much joy out of it. Like the bosses I want to fight. If I was to play Sekiro, I would just be doing gauntlets of strength and reflections of strength.
Oh, no. Oh,
How about you going
damn.
for the other ending?
Huh?
How about you going for the other ending?
Nope.
You said how about going for the other ending?
Nope.
Yeah. I didn't wait for you because I didn't really plan to
Well, I want to do that though. It's
Elden
the
Ring
question.
together.
I
don't
didn't
know.
Just
put
wanted something
any
in the
buff.
background to play while I talk with my friends.
I don't know if I want to do that.
Oof.
That's the only reason why I didn't.
I didn't put any buff, like
Oh my
attribute resistance to my
Nicola, I do not
course.
want to hug you. Nicola, I do not want to hug you.
So here's the first time I died. There's a few things I need
Oh,
to
that
It's
hit
very
me.
There's a few things I have to add to my mixies.
Excuse me?
Alright.
Hey, I'm joining up again.
Ah, welcome back,
Did you give you
girl.
a day off?
Yeah, no, yeah. I'm just about to leave, so I'm
Continue.
cold died.
I didn't die.
Oh, okay.
For the
You missed.
first time I can remember, I got my heart stolen. My character literally did the bow and everything to Don and Nicola.
Uh-huh.
That happened to me once. I almost broke my controller in 2 pieces.
Ouch.
What were you gonna
And
say,
then I,
Nicola? This time.
No, I was just saying that I joined using the PS the PlayStation app on my phone. Only for a few minutes.
Ah,
Yeah, until I actually arrive at the hospital.
you're walking to work.
Yeah, I'm walking to work. So yeah.
It's a good thing that you don't live far from work.
Yeah, that's true. We believe I have over the years. We're just within walking proximity to the workplace.
That's
Okay.
awesome.
I mean, I don't own a vehicle, but I still wanted to have my driver's license just in case.
Mm. You know, that's actually a good idea. You know, a channel for the four of us. Especially because
That
we
sounds
play
good.
Souls games. Yeah.
I am officially corrupted.
I missed that.
Which one is it? Is it this one? No, it's the blue one.
Okay. Entropy
you.
resistance.
I'm just running through this. I don't have time.
Uh,
We gotta fight
Okay, I need to heal
Waco
immediately
before we end stream, baby. Oh, Gail, did you beat King's Flame?
okay.
I did
Oh, okay.
off record because I was testing the area to see how I was gonna approach it
And you ended up beating
before I
him?
recorded. Yeah. Yeah, I did.
Oh, I thought yours was
But-
already, my brother. What?
But I did the save scumming method, so I didn't lose the you know, I didn't lose the save file, so I can just do it over and over again.
Oh, you did it, yeah. You uploaded your save just before you did the boss fight.
I did, yeah.
Let me see.
That's how I managed to get the that's how I managed to get the multiple endings for, you know, for the other Souls games that I did.
Yeah,
Except
you can get
for
all the endings in one playthrough. and stuff.
yeah, except for
Okay.
Demon Souls, I think, and Bloodborne. Yeah,
I forgot. I did a video when I had to, thanks to you learning that from you. I did that to make a video, but I can't remember which one.
Yeah.
But I know I remember thanking you for it.
I think it had something to do with combat in Bloodborne.
Yeah.
I almost
Oh,
killed myself
right.
just now.
Yeah, last year.
You're right. I
No.
was making my Bloodborne videos. I
Mm.
remember you can only fight the boss once per playthrough, so then I had to save scum.
Yeah, I really appreciated you you know, mentioning me back then.
Of course. It never occurred to me to do that until you mentioned it.
I died my second time.
All set to go.
Yeah.
Hey, Boo. Ocelot is free during the week. When are we gonna do PUBG again?
I get off of work at 6, so
Work.
anytime, maybe like 7,
I think I'm okay. Let's try it.
8 o'clock, maybe.
Okay. He's
It's
about
that first phase.
Oh, my
3 or
stream
4
just
hours
took a
behind
dump.
us. Yeah,
Come
3
on.
or 4 hours behind us.
Come on. Alright. I'm baiting a certain move.
Okay, minimal amount of damage. Check.
Hey, y'all wasn't gonna tell me my stream done messed up. Hold on.
Yeah, it's kind of hard to hear you, Gale.
Ran out.
Let's see, did it fix? Is it an internet issue?
Yep.
Yeah.
Well,
We have been getting mad rain down here. What?
Damn, dude.
Nicola hugged me again.